when working on the score, I used several tools. Max wanted to create this kind of timeless limbo, this space where the main character exists. And I thought that we cannot have really organic sounds because still it's kind of twisted and a little bit toxic, so we cannot have real instruments there. And I used sound palettes mostly with the kind of mallets and bells, since that sounded like maybe they had some bell quality, but they were not really bells. And I twisted them and I created a huge palette from one sound, and it took a lot of sound design. So I had like maybe 30 layers for one sound for each scene. And the only time we had a kind of acoustic instrument was the opening theme, because I wanted to have some hint of on humanity that exists in the main character, that he still has the hope to cure and to be a normal person. And we recorded a real pianist remotely. It's a guy who was a soloist of a philharmonic in Russia, and he had to leave the country because of his political views, and now he lives in Berlin. So he did a great recording, and after I played with that in the sequencer, so it still was revoked in kind of synth sound with the bell timbre underneath, and it was something like in between. So if we talk about limbo, it's not here and not there. And so the main theme was also, it was like a piano, but then it wasn't a real piano. And I used a time measure that is not that ordinary. It's in between 3/4, that's like a waltz, and a 4/4, that's like, pop music, regular beat. So I used the 7/8. So it's really like you don't have 1/8, one small beat to 4/4. And it created this kind of, maybe a little bit wobbling and shaking vibe. So it's kind of not straightforward. It's or something lacking or something a little bit of too much than from 3/4. And I used this in the opening, and I think it really introduced us into this strange world that the main character exists. And when we went to the fight scene, there Max wanted to go to genre. To make it more straightforward, more direct. So we went from this illusional world where the main character is kind of hostage, like inside his disease. We went to something more real when he really takes some action and fights his dark double. And then we completely changed the sound palette. We used percussion. We used very aggressive samples. It was it was harsh. Uh, and also, it was the place for Max's concept of combining art and mainstream. So the whole introduction, it was kind of art, and musically it was art. And when we went to this fight and to the climax and to the final scene, then the music became more, let's say, pop or easily digested. It was like clearly action combat scene, and the last soundtrack that was written by the sound mixer, actually, it's like a real song. It's guitar, it's has some rock atmosphere, and was really straightforward, and symbolically it's brought us to the reality. So the arc was shaped also on the subliminally, also on musical level, like working with the sound palette and real and synthesized instruments. And yeah.
Anastasia, you have given me chill. I have chills going down my arms. That right there, that's why we watch movies over and over and over again. It's like when we get this kind of insight and we know what the story behind the creation, and it's like, okay, let me watch this again. Let me see if I catch that this time. That is why. Oh, Oh, I'm so glad that you added this part to this conversation. That's amazing. I am watching this as soon as we get off this podcast. I'm watching it
Oh,
again.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yes, I literally chills down my arms hearing that. I love the geeky stories behind,
It's very geeky.
to hear the creators talk about
Yeah.
these, technical
The
things,
team is very geeky. I talked
yeah,
to everybody because I wanted to speak from the whole team, not only from myself and from Max. And
yeah.
so, like, the guys sent me texts like that. Like, DP sent me all his
Oh,
stills and his storyboards, and he
oh,
explained me about the lens and angles. And the production designer told me how he built.
yeah.
Also, yeah, if we have some time, there is this difficult scene in the end when the car crashes.
Hmm.
So we're supposed to put 80% of the budget into that, and money was
Sure.
over. So we couldn't have car crash,
Yeah.
and it should have been fixed somehow. So the production designer decided to find a building with arc, and he built from plastic foam. I don't know if it's in English, maybe
Yeah.
panoplex.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
built inside the arc everything from plastic foam and painted that, and it looked like a real wall. And they found the car, they leased the car, so there wasn't even a scratch on that.
Oh,
And they couldn't have the stuntman also only because of their budgeting.
yeah.
So the actor Simeon, he performed everything himself. He was driving, and it was super safe for him. But like Tom Cruise, he performed everything himself, and he crashed the car. And it looked great on the video. It doesn't look like there was some plastic used or anything. It looks like there is a brick wall that falls
Yeah.
apart. And I think this was a great solution, and it's super smart, and it shows that everybody was a professional, though maybe a beginner, but everybody came with kind of solution.
It's amazing the solutions that you can come up to when necessity mandates it. I love that story. I love that.